I am very excited about what I have to show you today. This is the newest pattern in my pattern shop. She is the Clara ballerina doll pattern. She comes with complete instructions with tons of photos, and she comes with the clothes. So she has a ballet leotard on, crisscrossed in the back. Isn't that cute? She has a ballet wrap skirt, leg warmers, and of course, a tutu. She has point shoes. She has yarn hair, and she has movable button jointed arms. So I'm not going to make a complete sew along of this whole doll unless you want that. If you want that and have 2 hours to watch the video, then I will do it. You just tell me in the comments. But I am going to do a few shorter videos with certain elements, maybe the more intermediate elements, starting with today's, which is embroidering doll faces. I also have these examples. These are some of my other patterns. You can see the differences in the faces. And this is sort of an embroidery basics for people who have never embroidered before. It is not your perfectionists video on embroidery. I definitely am not a perfect embroiderer, but I have learned some stuff. And I'm going to show you how to make these French knots, how to make these tiny stitches, how to do a satin stitch for the nose. And so that's what today's video is. Next, I'm going to make a video on how to attach the movable arms. It's sort of a tufting technique with the buttons. And then I'm going to make a tutorial on the yarn hair, which is much easier than you probably think. It is not hard at all. You actually sew a weft of hair on your sewing machine and then just stitch it onto the doll. So I was pleasantly surprised by how easy yarn hair was when I learned, so I think you will be too. Lastly, I will probably do a video on my tutu technique because I made like 4 prototypes. I wanted to make it easy and unfussy because tulle can be really hard to work with. And I came up with a very smart tutu method. So that'll be the 4th video in the series. I will put them all in a playlist. I'm actually moving in 2 weeks and our packers are coming in a week. So I have to do all of these like this week. So it won't be a long time in between videos. Look for them one after the other. So my 3rd ballerina doll is going to be this purple fabric, and I'm going to use sort of a cotton candy yarn. I had a hard time finding skin tones for lighter skin. I had an easy time finding browns. I found all of these good brown skin tones, but it's much harder to find the lighter ones. The one I landed on does have some pink in it, but you really can't tell. It looked pink in the store, but now it just looks white. But that's okay. So I'm making a fun purple one. I want to make her with cotton candy yarn hair. I want to make her some funky colored clothes, and it's just going to be really fun. So this is what you need for embroidery. You need embroidery floss. This is very inexpensive, so you can get a lot of colors to play with. You need an embroidery needle, or just a needle with an eye big enough. Not too big, especially for these tiny things. And you need some scissors, and that's it. So to transfer my face onto my doll, sometimes I do it in a flat like this and I put a pin in each place and then I lift the paper and mark. And I mark with a pencil. You can also mark with a water-soluble pen if you want, but I find the pencil, if I do it light enough, it disappears under my stitches. And I'm not worried that a water-soluble pen will not erase somehow. I have had that happen before. Okay, so, but this time, usually this is what I do. I hold this up to the window, I line them up, I place them both against a window, and I just quickly doodle my pieces because you can see right through the fabric when it's up on the window. You can even tape it to the window if you don't trust yourself. If you're doing a more intricate embroidery pattern, that's what you do. Okay, so I'm going to start with my eyes. I'm going to get off a black length of thread. It doesn't need to be this long. Then embroidery floss comes with 6 strands, and you need to separate it into just 3. Don't pull too fast because it'll get all knotted up at the end. Pull slowly until they come apart. Okay, so now I have a thinner piece of floss. I'm going to thread my needle with all 3 strands. And unlike in other hand sewing projects, you don't knot the ends together. You just make a knot in this end. I'm going to double knot. If you don't move the fingers of your holding hand, then your knot ends up in the same exact place as your first one. And then I snipped it short. Okay, so for the French knots of the eyes, you're going to insert your needle right on the eye. Then you're going to take a very tiny stitch, just a few fibers, and leave your needle like that. Then you're going to wrap the floss. For a bigger French knot, you wrap it more times. So I'm going to wrap mine 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Hold it with my thumb. All untangled, and then pull it through. Now I have a nice French knot. So for a tiny French knot, you would just wrap it once. Then I'm going to insert my needle back where I started. And then I'll go to the eyelashes. So for the eyelashes, I just do 1 longer stitch per lash. So I'm going to come out at the end of my lash, insert it back into where my French knot is, and come out again at the next lash end. So with embroidery, and this is the same for hand quilting, I think, people sort of assume if you're a beginner, you go down and you go up, you go down and you go up. But really, you're working from the top of your piece the entire time. You don't want to pull it too tight. We're not using a hoop, so we don't want to accidentally get our threads pulled too tight. Okay, so now to finish this last eyelash, I am going to go insert it back at the eye. And there I have 3 eyelashes with my French knot eye. So now I will go to the back. I'm going to make a knot. I'm just going to pick up my floss a little bit, pull up a loop, draw it through, and do that one more time. Now, it can be tempting to just use the same floss and carry it up to the eyebrow or carry it over here to the other eye. Resist the temptation to do that, especially if you're using a lighter color fabric like this, because when you stuff it, your floss will show through your face and that would just kind of ruin all of your hard work. So I'm going to snip. I knotted it so I can snip it really close. Now I'm going to re-knot my thread and do the other eye. Okay, let me show you the French knot again. Come up from the back. I take a tiny stitch and I wrap my floss. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Hold it with my thumb and pull my floss through. And then go back down and come up again at the end of my lash. Go back down. Ooh, it's hard to see my pencil marks right here. Make sure my eyes look how I want them. Very cute. And make a knot. All right, let me do my nose. I'm going to use this dusty pink. You cut your floss, divide it into just 3 strands instead of 6. You can wrap the extra strands back around your floss holder. First, we're going to outline the nose. It's very tiny. And this is going to be what's called a back stitch. So I'm going to reinsert my needle a tiny bit away and then bring it out again another stitch length away. So I created 1 stitch, and I'm going to go back and come out again where the next stitch should land. Okay, then I'm going to go back to where this stitch ended and exit my needle where the next stitch should begin. So this is creating a constant stitch all the way around. This is very tiny. Most projects won't be this tiny. It does not need to be totally perfect, I promise. Okay, so now we're going to create a satin stitch. So I'm going to insert it here where I need to finish off that stitch. And then we're just going to make vertical lines right next to each other all the way across the nose. So I'm going to exit down here where I want my next stitch to end, come back up here, and then exit right next to where I last exited. We're talking like 1 or 2 fabric fibers in between each needle poke. And that way we're going to fill in our nose. I think that might be the last one. So I have 4 or 5 stitches across. And there's my satin stitched nose. Okay, so now I'm going to start with the mouth. I'm going to start not at the very end of the mouth, but 1 stitch length away from the end of it, so that I can go back and exit at the next stitch. Thank you. The mouth is only 3 or 4 stitches long. Make sure you're not pulling it so tight that you get wrinkles. And then this will be my last one, so I'm just going to exit to the back. Embroidery is actually a very good thing to teach children. I've taught several kids to embroider when I was teaching sewing classes to kids. They love embroidery. If you have really young kids, you can give them a piece of burlap in a hoop, an embroidery hoop, thread a yarn needle, which has the blunt end. They're usually plastic and kind of thick, with some yarn, and just teach them how to go in and out of their burlap. They love to make those designs. My kids love doing that when they were little. And it's just a good entry into sewing. Okay, so my eyebrows are the last thing. The eyebrows are only 2 tiny stitches each. Okay, so I'm actually going to go up in the very middle of the eyebrow, go back in at one end and exit back out the other end, and then back into the middle. Let me do that slower on the next one. Again, resist the temptation to just carry your thread across to the next eyebrow. Even if you're using a dark fabric, it's not a good idea, because if you pull it at all too tight, or when you stuff it, it makes your eyebrows pull towards each other. You really don't want that. You don't want to take all this work and time making a perfect cute doll, and then you got a little lazy on one part, so it ruins it. Okay, I'm going to go in at the center of the eyebrow. Go back in at the end and exit at the other end of the eyebrow. So there's 1 stitch, and now I can just go back through the center to tie it off on the back. People who are really good at embroidery, they can get the back to look as good as the front. Obviously, I am not that person. My sister's really good at that. My daughter's really good at that. But this works enough for me. Okay, so you can buy this ballerina doll pattern in my shop. I will put a link to that below and in the first comment. I really hope you enjoy it, because this has been my favorite pattern to develop. I'm so excited about it. All I want to do now is make dolls. I want to make more clothes for them. My daughter, my 15-year-old, told me I should make a jazz dancer. I probably will make a boy dancer, and I will probably also make nutcracker costumes for them. So if you want more faces too, these same faces from the Phoebe rag dolls will also work on the Clara dolls. So if you have a Phoebe doll pattern, you have more face templates already. I love this side-eye one. You can give your ballerina a side-eye. Okay, so the next video will be about attaching the arms. I already made her arms so that I'm ready. Made her legs too. So cute. So the next video, I'll teach you how to attach movable button arms to soft dolls. I hope you'll join me back here for that, and I'll see you later. Bye.